We are now being joined by Olena Tregub from Kyiv. She is the Secretary General of Independence Defense Anti-Corruption Committee from Kyiv. Welcome to the broadcast. Well, my first question to you. With the Russia-Ukraine war ensuing for more than 1,000 days now, the war is right now at a place where Vladimir Putin this Thursday proposes a high-tech duel with Ukraine, suggesting that he would test his claims that Russia's new hypersonic ballistic missile is impervious to air defenses. And of course, Zelensky responded with calling Putin's entourage thugs. Now, despite this war of words, Russia is attacking Ukraine on multiple fronts, and Ukraine is staring into a dark, cold winter. How do you read the situation at this point of the war? What do we make of it?
I think that collectively, external observers have underestimated Ukraine, because the way I see the situation right now is that there are more than 1,000 days of war showed that Russia is much weaker than we thought. Ukraine is much stronger than we thought and much more resilient than we thought. And this is why Putin is making these desperate claims, and he has now to go to Oreshnik missile to threaten Ukraine. And this winter in Ukraine, it's actually better in terms of their electricity in the houses. We have repaired our electricity facilities, and in the recent days, we didn't even have power cuts. And it's amazing, given how many missiles Russia has now launched against us. And our economy is projected to grow 4%. Next year. It's economy that grows during full-scale war. This is why, of course, at the press conference yesterday, Putin spoke about economy a lot, because Russians are worried what will happen to their economy. And The Economist just published an article saying that Ukraine is winning the economic war. So what I'm seeing here is that this war is winnable for Ukraine, and Russia is trying to, of course, create impression that it is winning. And Putin, I think he definitely thinks that he can take more of Ukraine until the Dnieper River before Trump comes to office, and then he'll negotiate from position of strength, so-called. But it's not yet working that well for Russia. It's also absolutely impossible, in my opinion, that Russia would be able to free Kursk region before Trump inauguration, and part of Kursk region will remain in Ukrainian hands. So definitely, I think things didn't work out for Russia as they planned at the beginning of this invasion.
Ms. Tregub, while you say that Vladimir Putin is trying to portray that Russia is winning, would you really rather say that there are winners in a war? It's a war at the end of the day. And while the EU has announced additional $30 billion euros of aid to Ukraine in 2025, there has been an energy crisis, while Ukraine, as you claim, is doing better than the last year. How do you expect and how do you suppose the region is going to grapple with this?
Well, Ukraine, why Ukraine can win? Because yes, Ukraine is supported by European Union. European Union will fund their basically deficit in Ukrainian budget for 2025. It was already announced. When it comes to military assistance that we have, it will last for some time, even if the new Trump administration will not provide any. So I think right now we see that definitely there will be an attempt by Donald Trump to put Ukraine and Russia at the negotiation table. And very soon, Trump administration will understand that the problem is in Russia, not in Ukraine, that the war comes from Russia, not from Ukraine, and that Russia is the party that doesn't want negotiation. And if Trump understands it, his advisor Kellogg said the plan is to arm Ukraine even more. to win this war. And this is, of course, the optimal scenario for Ukraine. If Russia definitely understands this threat, so I think they will try to also participate in negotiations. But you hear yourself, if you listen carefully to what Putin was saying yesterday, he's definitely not ready for negotiation, because he said that he is willing to negotiate with Ukraine only if there will be election of a president, and Zelensky would be re-elected, or there would be a new president. But it's clear, according to our own law, we cannot have election during full-scale war. So Putin gives us impossible condition, which means he doesn't really want to negotiate.
How reliant is Ukraine and even Russia on the US and the new president-elect Donald Trump for a peace deal between the two countries, and what would that deal look like?
Well, of course, right now, Trump and his peace plan is the major factor in this war. This political element right now, at this point of time, is even more important than what happens at the battlefield, because before it was the other way around. So now the peace plan would include, yes, freezing the contact line, providing security guarantees for the rest of Ukraine, which has not been occupied by Russia.
Right.
And enabling Ukraine to develop further and build up its army to later on become a strong country and diplomatically, hopefully, reunite with the rest of the territory, which is now taken by Russia.
Okay, before I let you go, very quickly, Donald Trump says he would be able to put an end to the war within hours of him coming to office. What do you make of this? Do you think that's really possible?
Of course, it's not possible. And if you watch what Trump is saying now, he already increasingly making statements that, yes, it's actually much more difficult than he thought, and it will take much more time. And
right.
If we don't end it in a few months after Trump comes, it means it will last much longer, for at least 1 more year, right. Because that's the time window that we are having right now, right. Opening.
Thank you so much, Olena Tregub, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.